on now. I'm catching a stray like that. They can. That's
No,
crazy.
no. Never. I meant to
Just
only as
called
a
me
compliment.
old within seconds.
You're actually gaslighting me now? It's crazy.
Now I'm okay. Sure. I don't know if everyone's
We gotta.
No,
we're
they're
gonna have to get back
remaking
to
lobby
Smite.
as you're insulting me. So I was making sure that they knew they were okay. But anyway, yep. Anthony, Fisher, Cat, trio oldest time. Fisher, you and I have cast almost 300 games of Smite together.
Has it really been that much?
It has, because I'm getting close to my 600th game of Smite, and you were definitely there for at least half early on. So
At least, we had a lot of weeks where we would go like 7 or 8 games. So definitely not hard to believe that we're kind of up there in the mid hundreds.
the button down's gonna make you bark. I mean, honestly, do you? I won't hold that against you. Fisher just ignoring everything I said, but no, yeah.
I'm absolutely.
Our
tuning
first
out.
game together was a bring your own team best of 5 for SDL in September of 2022, right? Was it 22? Yeah, it was 22.
Yeah. Dang,
Insane.
so coming up on 2 years too. It's almost our anniversary. What do you
Almost around our birthday would be the anniversary. Yeah. Kat said how cute. She's right on the money. But Godsend, if you got to bark, you got to bark. Dr. Killjoy, good to see you. And Cosmic as well. Cosmic in there first. Sheesh. Extra credit for Cosmic Warrior. We're just waiting for them to remake their lobby, and we'll have picks and bans for. Not sure how many games we're gonna have. We'll go off of length. You guys know how in-houses can be. Hopefully it's a fun one though. The lobby is pretty stacked. I'll go ahead and read out the rosters we got. Let's see. We've got ourselves tonight. Liz Dexia. Jeez, I'm dyslexic, and that name is to torture me, and it worked. We have Liz Dexia for solo, Cam in jungle, Helanu in mid, Physics in support, and Awesome Luke 22 in ADC for Team Golden Bow, and Team Fatalis is going to be Ankh in solo, Rushology in jungle, Bugle Wizard in mid, Starry is a cutie in support, and Vayu 17 in ADC. Godsend! Gifting 5 subs! Sheesh, Godsend. I really appreciate that. Thank you so much. Means a lot to me. Thank you.
Be interested to see kind of some of these players, and you know what I want to see too, the new items. I haven't cast Smite I think since they dropped. So what are they? Duality and Curse Weaver, right?
Duality, Curse Weaver. There's Equinox, Blackthorn Hammer is currently meta.
I do remember those two.
We'll make it a bit of a. It's like a relearning session for you, Fisher.
There you go. You're educating. It's like opposite. Normally I got some of the stats coming in there. This time you're gonna have to lead it through. That's it. That's a twist. I'm actually play-by-play this game.
Hey, you've been doing tons of play-by-play for Rainbow Six, so it would only make sense, right?
I have. I do like play-by-play on Rainbow Six. There's too much in Smite, it's only bullets in Rainbow. I can't deal with all the spells in Smite.
That's a really good way of putting it, actually. Is that it's only bullets. So since we're doing viewer games and we've got Golden Bow and Fatalis, tonight I've got Fisher with me. Tomorrow night at 8 p.m. Eastern, I'll have J-Mac with me for more viewer games and Tesd on production. So tomorrow night will be fun too. Godsend again, I appreciate you so much. The picks and bans right around the corner for our first viewer games of tonight. And the first ban... Okay, so there's controversy around this Rama ban. Earlier, when the teams got put together, one of the first things said was Vayu said, "Can you guys let me play Rama, or are we just going to ban it away from me?" And it looks like Team Golden Bow had no interest in allowing Vayu to have fun. Rama is the first ban.
I mean, I'm doing a little bit of investigating reporting here, and in Vayu's Discord bio, I see Rama repeated 31 times. So, the Rama ban might be a little targeted. It's a good ADC anyway. Definitely think that has to be targeted. And you'll have to educate me here. This is not a meta ban, is it? Or have I been away?
I mean, it's not like bad, but it's a Vayu ban.
Okay, I just
really
want to be sure.
I feel like
ADCs
that can shred tanks are at a really good spot right now because tanks are dominant. That's why you see the first ban, Fafnir, from the side of Team Fatalis. You build a demonic grip on Fafnir right now, and the things that are being done are just absolutely dastardly.
Not very fun. I still remember that one period of time where Fafnir was just the man for a few weeks, had to be banned, otherwise just completely ran the league. Nice to see him getting some respect bans again. Always love the the shape-shifting Norseman. Very fun. And speaking of the Norse, Thor taken out too.
Yeah, I feel like the Thor is just a safe ban. You know, custom games, in-houses. You know everybody, so you're just kind of banning what you don't feel like dealing with. The Odin ban, a bit more interesting. Has been really good, though. And I feel like we're seeing Odin in a meta where we're seeing a lot of less mobile characters jump to the top, at least from what I've been seeing. A lot of people have been playing Raw. I'm not sure if that's just luck of the draw for me in the last few days, because I'm not going to lie, I haven't seen it elsewhere. But in every game that I've cast in the last week, I've seen at least one Raw per set. So I don't know why it's happening.
I always like when we have those big snipes. I don't care who's playing it. If it's a Scylla, if it's a Thoth, if it's a Ra, if it's big and does a lot of damage, it's a fun ability. So definitely like to see the Birdman get back in there. You know, my good cousin. And yeah, be interested to see if something like that gets taken out, how well these players kind of prioritize that. Because like you said, these are kind of, they're scrims, they're in-houses. There's not going to be kind of as much meta as we'd normally expect. So might see some kind of like off-kilter picks rise and pick some bans, high picks. Speaking of that, the Lancelot ban, I don't understand a whole ton. I think I might be semi-alone in this thought, but I do not think Lancelot is that good.
I think you are alone in the thought, but that's okay. Lancelot is... Well, Lancelot was in a really good spot, but they did today.
I am the terror of the depths!
Patch where Lancelot did take some nerfs, so kind of an interesting ban in that aspect. So if you're referring to the nerfs, you're dead on the money. But otherwise, Lancelot's been getting played a lot lately, which personally I am also not on board with, in the fact that I don't like the character. I think he's kind of boring. So that's my hot take.
Yeah, I think just some of the ways like abilities are too. He's so difficult to do really, really well on. You know, anyone can play Lancelot and do okay on him, but to excel, Lancelot can be scary. So so you know, I think from that standpoint, can maybe understand it. And a Charybdis top pick. I mean, Charybdis had her share of heydays in ADC, but I guess the safety is still really, really important. And you were talking about less mobile. Charybdis,
feel my blessing.
The most mobile ADC in the world. I guess you get a little bit of movement speed, but I like the pick. I just do not like it first overall.
Well, the Terra is definitely nasty right now. Terra was insane. Terra was getting picked everywhere, getting prioritized first by a lot of different teams, all the way up until
now is the time,
play, as there is no pro play. And then they decided to buff Terra, which has been interesting in terms of what it brought to the meta, and we're seeing her nonstop. The Charybdis, I also have seen a bit over this past weekend. It kind of falls into that Shredder territory. They did also work on the ultimate, make it feel a little bit better. I haven't seen her perform great, so maybe this will be the first time I get to see a Charybdis perform to potential. So that could be cool.
Would be really cool. Now we got a Nike pick as well, so just locking in that really aggressive front line here for Team Fatalis. And I really like these two. Like you said, Terra got a pretty big buff recently. I think it was a lot on the mana cost and stuff, some tick damage, all that, just making her a very, very strong character. And Nike as well. The only problem, though, I think picking Nike this high into the comp, these still have the executes. You can still go something like an Awelix, like a Thanatos, not Awelix, Achilles, or a Thanatos that are pretty common, I think, in-houses. Those two characters are just so much fun to run, and the shield just isn't going to do anything about it, but instead it'll be an Ares pick. Love the Ares pick. Ares, such a fun character.
I do like it into the Terra and the Nike as well. I feel like you can control a little bit of what they're bringing. Shout out to Digits, or SK Peso, for showing up. Speaking of barking, SK Peso in chat.
Cool tangent, man.
Don't mind me.
Masterpiece with the duo line now hunting from Golden Bow. Hoping they move somewhere. Hoping it's midden.
Oh boy! Oh boy! Oh boy! Oh boy! Oh man. We'll get through this eventually. Yeah, the Ares is cool. The Ares is
my
cool.
finest creation.
Oh, Vulcan. Vulcan is so good right now. Vulcan's good in any spot. In this case, I'm assuming it's mid, unless it's going jungle with the Charybdis already locked in.
I
but
will
Vulcan is
win
just
peace
so
by
good
force.
right now, Fisher. It's so irritating because you know I hate Vulcan, and that dude's getting picked nonstop right now.
You dislike a great many amount of Smite gods, I think, but yeah, Vulcan, just especially playing as or against a Vulcan, so difficult to deal with. The backfire is just annoying. A good Vulcan, those ults are impossible to dodge. They always come in at the right times. Can be really tricky to play, but gotta think these high-level players certainly going to be able to. And a pick I just absolutely love, the Hachiman. At least it's not getting first pick, first banned anymore, but it's a cool ADC. I like Hachiman, but he is a very boring ADC at times.
Yeah, shout out to D-Lo for sharing the mindset with you of hating
He's here in
Hachiman for
spirit,
sure.
don't worry, I'm keeping him alive.
Somewhere D-Lo has got a cold chill at the back of his spine, and he's wondering what could that have been. Turns out it was a Hachiman getting picked, but the Daji, Klina, and Bastet bans with the Camazons, no junglers for anybody today. They did choose to pick them late, so you open that door if you are these teams tonight. But that could also be fun. Could open up some picks we haven't seen. You mentioned the Thanatos. That could be pretty interesting to see. I'm really curious where to go with it.
I think it'd be a smart move, and the Thoth lock-in I like as well. It's not the Ra, it's another one of the birds with the big snipes though, so it should be pretty interesting. You know, the Final Judgment, so good, and especially facing up against something like Vulcan's ultimate, it's so good for stealing away objectives, for separating team fights. Now with this mid laner, you're gonna have something that can really, I think, kind of counter that. Maybe not as impactful as Vulcan's at times, but still really good, and not the solo laner I expected. Still would have liked to see something like that Achilles. Kokolin instead, though, have not seen Kokolin in a long time, personally.
He's doing pretty good right now. I did see him last night casting Amaterasu's Presence, saw Kokolin picked up by Gumbos into SDF's Bologna, and it performed pretty well. What was doing so good was the laning phase, going Bluestone into Blackthorn's Hammer, the stat pads. The stat padding of that item just made you so good in the laning phase early, but we did see that item get a bit of a hit, just a slight change in what it gave for power. So we'll see how much that affects Kokolin. And the last lock-in for Team Golden Bow, going to be a Fenrir.
It's an interesting pick. I like Fenrir a lot. Fenrir can be really impressive, especially if they're able to get an early lead. So I think this jungler for Team Fatale is going to be really important, because looking across the boards, Hachiman Terra aren't going to leverage an early lead into anything incredible. Neither is the Nike. The Thoth, not the most mobile mid laner in the world. So if this Fenrir gets a little bit run away, you could really see him being dominant in a lot of different places on these this map. Some of these characters, I think Hachiman Nike in particular, are pretty safe. But a Fenrir from behead does not matter if you're safe, because you're never really safe with that Ragnarok ultimate.
I always like it into Thoth as well, wanting to chase him down. Robin, I would not have expected that as the pick from Team Fatalis.
It's an interesting one. I mean, kind of fits the build they're all going with, though. The little bit safer picks, you know, a little bit more conservative when it's going to come to that team fight phase. Honestly, I'm a little concerned, though, because the thing I don't see a whole ton of here is just great initiation. It's going to be a lot of Nike and Robin just kind of jumping in on their own. There's nothing like they really have on the other side, like a Ragnarok, like an Ares No Escape. They're kind of missing that one big ability that's really going to start this team fight off. So I think on that aspect, Team Golden Bow's aggression is just miles ahead of Team Fatalis.
And the aggression could be really interesting to watch, because if the Fenrir can get the Vulcan ahead, we all know that's going to be a nightmare scenario. The Charybdis and the Ares are going to look to fight in duo. And to a Hachiman Terra, though, not the easiest fight to be had. And the Fenrir versus the Robin does feel like it could be a strong tipping point there for Team Golden Bow. One thing we haven't touched much on, Fisher, is the solo lane. So what can we expect to see there?
I mean, it's a little difficult to say when you have a Nike, because I think it honestly really depends on the skill of the Nike. Kokolin, very difficult to deal with, a lot of aggression out of that solo laner, especially from a good solo laner. So it's really going to be, is Nike going to be able to defend against the aggression, and it's going to be a very boring lane, or is the Nike not, and it's going to be a really exciting lane, and Kokolin's going to get a bunch of kills? It's going to go one of those two ways, but with how Kokolin's built, I don't really see the Nike getting off to too much of an advantage outside of the gank. And even so, when you compare Ravana to Fenrir, the pressure is just going to be overwhelmingly in the hands of Golden Bow on that solo side.
Absolutely, Fisher. It's going to be a frightening solo lane, going to be a frightening battle, but let's head into game and see how this stuff works out in the first game between Team Golden Bow and Team Fatalis. I'm excited, Fisher. I know you are as well. We got Cat on production for us tonight. And we've got some pretty talented players from the Sparta division of OSL, so this is going to be a banger of a game.
It really should be excited to see kind of what happens, what these teams go towards. I think we already talked a little bit. Fatalis, maybe not the most aggressive comp in the world. So I think it's going to be a lot more important this early game, you know, how they're kind of able to approach this. They're going to need to get themselves off to a lead because if they don't, it's going to be trouble. And somebody to watch, Vayu, not on the Rama. Interested to see how that affects the mentals. I'm sure, you know, a little sad right now, maybe a little bit worried without that Rama pick. Hopefully, should have a good game on that Hachiman, though.
How many Ramas did you say were in Value's
31.
Discord bio? 31 mentions of Rama in the Discord bio. So got to see if the Hachiman can. Hey, if this game goes really well, though, maybe there'll be, you know, 15
Throw one
to
Hachiman in there.
yeah, at least 15. Get, you know, split it half and half
15?
or close to.
Okay, no, we got to make a deal with Vayu. As many Hachimans as he gets kills. Gets 10 kills, puts 10
see,
Hachimans
you're
at the end
cooking.
there. All right.
You
Dude,
are absolutely
you know,
cooking.
You know it. All right, Vayu, you know, we know you can't hear this right now, but we're agreeing to it for you, so we'll hold you to that after the game.
Sold completely. Looking across the rest of the stuff going on, though, that we see in the bottom of the screen, the blink coming out for both jungles should be fun to see. We'll see if the Fenrir can put it to use here soon. But Team Fatalis not wanting to step up and overplay their hand in this duo lane, despite having some decent damage already in Team Golden Bow. They do not take the bait.
Yes, now here, a little bit of aggression from all the teams, and with Ravana ranking over here, Rushology is going to keep Mystexia. Oh my gosh, that's going to be so difficult to say.
For you, imagine for me.
Yeah, true. You know, I didn't even think about that. It's very funny knowing the dash exit Arana, and Bugle Lizard is about to be off the map unless they can get the dash off, which they do.
But Buntunnen was feeling it for first blood, into the tower, into the abyss, into the first blood for Team Golden Bow. No fear whatsoever on that Fenrir, despite the tower damage that went behind it.
Yeah, and I gotta wonder if the dash was already down, because if not, could have very easily pulled Fenrir into that tower. Might have been possibility of a return kill. Would have been a ton of damage up there towards Buntunnen. Regardless, though, not gonna happen. Now Fenrir, you know, the character we were a bit worried about, very aggressive, could be the problem, is now ahead 1 kill on the other side. Ares trying to get aggressive, but unfortunately, still above half HP. The Terran doing just fine in the duo lane.
Conversely, though, the Raven for Rushology, that's one of Rushology's better picks. I think Rushology played Raven and ranked a lot. Enough of a comfort pick to get past the Fenrir. Purple up invade, gonna be unsuccessful for Team Golden Bow. The response for Team Fatalis was good enough. The horrific emblem from physics trying to get away, but the damage so far is really good. And Rushology is here, and on's awesome. Luke, the freebies will help out. One more auto will do it. Vayu handles physics, but unable to get awesome. Luke, meanwhile, other side of the map, there was a kill picked up in solo as well as Og fell to Fenrir. Now 2 kills for the big dog.
What we were worried about in that solo lane there with the Fenrir ganks, but of course on the opposite side here, Raven ranging over to the duo lane. We thought that the Ares Charybdis was going to be really aggressive kind of out early, and they have had Fatalis by their tower a couple of times, but that duo lane still surviving well, and now with Hachiman taking over to level 5, I mean that Fenrir gank going to be much less impactful the next time Buntunnen makes her way around the duo lane. Little bit of a loss there for Team Golden Bow. That one's definitely going to hurt him.
I'm curious what the response will be too, because when a Fenrir does get ahead like that, it's harder to be handling the presence in the jungle. You're a little bit more nervous to step up in lanes. So we'll see if Team Fatalis is able to respond to that. Not to mention Fisher, the farm, about a level and a half behind now for Rushology on that Raven. So needs to find farm from some places, and with the Fenrir being able to lurk the jungle now with a little bit less fear, knowing the damage is great, that can be a tough task for Fatalis to deal with.
Can be. So we're going to see how they adapt to that. In the mid lane matchup, when we haven't talked about a whole ton, other than just kind of mentioning the ultimates of these players, we've been focused on ganks on the side lanes, how the jungler is going to impact it, but both these mid laners are going to play a very important role in this game. Halana right now with an early 1.5 level lead advantage. Both are so important when it comes to team fights, objectives, whatever you call it. So getting that XP lead going to be crucial. But now the question is, can Halana maintain it? Rushology going to have to do a lot of work there to get Bugle Wizard back in, because Vulcan from ahead, very difficult to shut down.
And combined with the Fenrir being ahead, it's very scary We'll see what the Fenrir can do ahead in duo. The no escape will be good onto Starry, but the dash gets ahead of the jump. There's the Ragnarok with the Ring Terra pretty far back, and will be enough for the kill. Physics gets the last hit off, though, to get credit for it, so third kill for Golden Bow, first kill for Ares.
Huge picks from them. Ares getting a kill, you know, always pretty fun. One of the only supports I kind of like seeing kills go onto, just because it feels right with the Ares. Not a ton of aura items online yet, but that power just going to continue to grow. Now Lizdexi trying to contest against his blue buff. Nike doesn't want to let it happen. Knockup won't matter, though, and now Kukulin has to get out of there. Not the character we expected to see on the back foot here in the solo lane.
No, and thankfully for Golden Bow, not falling behind, but still not having the best experience in lane, certainly, despite getting that kill onto Ankh earlier. Going for Fenrir, it hasn't felt super comfortable. I'm surprised we didn't see a Bluestone or a Blackthorn Hammer. That is something I've seen a lot from Kukulins lately. Instead, choosing to go Warrior's Axe and working on, I guess that'd be a Prophetic, which is interesting. Fenrir, diving, looking for a red buff invade on that right side. It will go good, and it'll get away.
Good invade by the Fenrir, keeping that aggression on. Talked about dual lane a little bit recently, just how important that want to be. And Solana still with the lead there, about 2 levels. So Thoth gonna have to be very, very careful with how they play this. Already has 1 death and pretty different builds. It's going to be a Doom Orb for the Vulcan. Thoth building into something I was not even going to fathom a guess, because I don't want to be wrong after such a long time away, but definitely something to keep an eye on when they move through this game, just how that power curve goes. And Fenrir is still lurking. Doesn't have a level on value, but with physics here, might be trouble. Rashology coming in. Going to be 3-on-2 favoring Fatalis.
3-on-2 if they take the fight, but Team Fatalis don't seem to be interested in stepping up. They just allow Golden Bow to be where they were and walk away. No harm done. It seemed like Rashology was a bit too understandably interested in getting farm, trying to catch back up to Button, which has been successful. To credit where it's due, certainly that was the right call.
Definitely was, and now some aggression on this left-hand side of the map. Rashology still sticking around. It's going to be another 3-on-2 aggression from the Hachiman, and it's going to be a kill to follow up. Rashology gets physics.
A heck of a Mystic Rush to do it as well. The Maw hungers, though. The Maw pushes Rashology underneath that tower, but can Awesome Luke make a kill happen out of it? They're going to dive underneath, find the root. Can you find the autos? Yes, double kill for Rashology.
Huge play from Rashology on the Raven, left-hand side of the map. 2 kills, great impact there. Now the question is, how is Team Fatalis gonna spin this one? Gonna stay ahead. Looking across the map, haven't seen a whole ton of objectives yet, but then on the chase, Ragnarok active, needs to be used, and On gets shut down. There you go, Jungler answers Jungler. 3 kills now for the Fenrir. Both staying even, 9 levels apiece.
Wow, 4-3 now, coming up on that 8.5-minute mark. The gold lead has stayed surprisingly close, considering everything that's been going on between these teams, with a 3 kills in pocket of Fenrir. You would think the gold lead would be more out of control, but it really has not been so far. Only 1,200. The experience has been this most significant advantage for Team Golden Bow up to this point. And the trouble they've caused Ankh, Fisher, really eliminating that Nike from being a problem for those first objectives when they do come into play. Do we feel like that's a good call?
I think it is. I'm a little interested that the Nike's still kind of struggling a little bit in the death department, given how far they've been pushed up all game. It's been some very nice ganks there from Button as they try to get more aggressive, but into the wider strategy, it's smart. I think we talked about the early game. They don't have that big ability like Team Golden Bow does. It's going to be Ankh and Rashology just trying to make stuff happen in the backline. So if Ank's not able to do that, if the shield isn't up, if they're under-leveled, it's going to make it so much more difficult to hang with this backline, because Hilanu here has a huge lead. Hilanu will destroy that Nike if she tries attacking.
Right on cue, the Earthshaker from that Vulcan to secure the Bull Demon King. But Button used to brutalize into that overhead kick by Rashology, so no damage found the way of the Raven, which was a go button for Rashology, but there's nothing over there to get. Well, the farm was already down off the map. Same thing for the blue buff, so maybe a gank for Rush. Blink about to be online, doesn't need it. The Mystic Rush comes out, but it goes far. as Lindexy's good with the dash. How long can you survive? My goodness, somehow the Kukulkan's still up, but out of mana. No way. Rush can't find it. Somehow the Kukulkan is just allowed to live, but Blink's online. There's the Blink. There's the hit and the overhead kick to avoid the tower, but Button will arrive a bit too late, but has Blink, gets the jump, the Brutalize too, Ragnarok as well, puts his forehead across all the keys in his damn keyboard to find the kill onto Rushology.
An interesting exchange there on the right-hand side of the map. A solo and a jungler both die. Team Golden Bow might come out ahead, though, because Bud and Rushology been kind of locked here in XP most of this match. This one might help separate the Fenrir, and now look at Ares there on that backside, just stealing away some minions. Might be able to gank onto Ankh. Ankh needs to get out of there. Bud Ned still chasing, gonna find the kill. Ankh sticks around too long, and now it's definitely in the hands of Golden Bow. Up 3,000 gold, up 2 kills, and up in momentum as well. Now some Luke has to be careful. In trouble. Here comes the Terra. Here might come death number 2 for the Charybdis.
Indeed it does, with mounted archery coming out from Vayu. Rama wasn't needed for that second kill for the Hachiman. And one thing Fisher was talking about was how good Golden Bow was set up with the Fenrir and the Vulcan. We saw it from the Fenrir, but they didn't need the Vulcan in these last few kills across the map. They just needed the Fenrir. I feel like it hasn't been able to help Charybdis, Fisher, so is the Vulcan being ahead, when's it gonna matter? Is it gonna matter at the CGB?
I think it's honestly just whenever they start fighting as a team. Maybe it's going to be around these objectives. Maybe it's when a team's feeling confident. Is that Earthshaker going to absolutely change the tides? This should be a big kill on the Starry. The Vulcan doesn't drop the ultimate. Pilanu could have gotten the kill there, just waiting, going to secure it. Bud Nen gets it. Didn't need it. Physics trying to pull one in. There's the old double combo. Bud Nen with the double kill. Huge from Team Golden Bow, and there we saw the impact we were waiting for.
That's 8 now for Golden Bow, and a Stygian Beacon should follow. Rushology would be taking a pretty severe risk to try and contest it here. So Fisher, that begs the question. We've talked a bit about the Vulcan obviously being ahead. The Fenrir has made himself known, and we've seen Ankh have trouble. So for Fatalis, where's their answer? Gold Fury being pulled now, so that answer will have to wait as Rushology's looking to contest. Gold down to half already. They aren't looking at Rush, now they do. 3 chains onto Rushology as well. Fenrir here, but Fatalis are still able to get the Gold Fury in the face of Golden Bow, but instantly Bud Nen brings down the Raven for the transgressions, but Vayu is able to find a double kill through it because Golden Bow did not want to walk away. They took the 50-50, and it goes as poor as it can.
Fatalis with a big win on that one. Luckily, a few members still escape alive for Golden Bow. So despite that, gonna lose them a little bit of gold, down to about 2,000 gold lead. Instead of that 3k, very, very minor change, but could be the start of something bigger. Now Bugle Wizard here still trying to pick up some XP in this mid lane. XP difference from the Vulcan wasn't enough to turn that last fight around, could still be very, very detrimental the longer this game goes now. Now the question remains, where do you go next? Tier 1 towers across the board being looked at, Terra able to pick one up and left. I don't think either of these teams are ready for the Fire Giant though, so it's just going to be fighting until that Gold Fury comes back up.
It almost gives us time for an answer to what I was asking you before, which is where do you go if you're Fatalis? Obviously the Gold Fury was great to pick up, but who's their answer? Vayu has 4 kills on the Hachi, so maybe that's the big answer, but is there a large-scale answer is the bigger thing, but again, just no time, I guess. My question doesn't matter. As Rushology goes in, there's another blink used by the other jungler, this one on the Bugle Wizard, and it's a real good blink at that. The Earthshaker catches a Mystic Rush, so won't bring down Rush. There's the Bud Nen jump, looking for Rush, but won't find it. Indeed, has to go back to the rest of the team because Hilanu is dealing with Ankh, and it's not going great so far. Vayu was able to clean up the dog somehow, who got left behind from the rest of the herd. And Team Fatalis might have a chance to turn this fight if Vayu can make it over in time. Should it continue? But continue it will not, as Golden Bow choose the wisest play, which is to walk away.
Golden Bow gonna survive after that fight, 1 person apiece, and losing Bud Nen there, absolutely huge. 9 kills on that Fenrir, gonna slow them down quite a bit. And despite that, criminal that there's only a 1 level lead there, and after 6 more kills than the Ravana, I think just speaks to how well Rushology's been farming, the impact around the map, and I know we talk about items a lot here, or at least we try to before action breaks out, but a Shadow Drinker from the Fenrir, not something I'm used to seeing.
Cooking.
Really strong stat stick item. Don't know how much impact that's going to have come late game. This early game, it's absolutely allowed him to get a little bit more aggressive, but still, definitely think they would pick something up later in the game. I guess we'll have to wait and see how it shakes out, though.
I think it's cooking. I think it's cookery indeed, and I love it for that. But I agree, the stat stick is the biggest part of it. Also interesting, Fisher, my eyes go to the Terra, picking up a response item.
What, the Absolution? That's the one. Okay, I knew it. Yeah, the cleansing within 50. It's a good one. It's been too long, man. You know, I've been away from the game. I knew it was one of them. I'd like to
I put
say,
that one on the tee for you to swing at the ball, and you somehow hit your dad in the nuts.
0.1 second before it showed up. It was good. I knew it. I had it right there. But yeah, the CC pull's very good, and especially with Terra, you know, able to use that ultimate extremely quickly. So just kind of reactionary beads for the whole team, not in something like an Ares where you gotta channel it or anything like that. So it should be very, very quick. Get the people out of Ragnarok. Only trouble is, if Terra's the one that's picked up, gonna be in a little difficulty. Interested to see if Terra will go the purification beads. Everybody else on the team has, but Terra's still level 11. Has not picked up that second relic.
Looking at the damage boards, the Thoth has yet to make a huge impact, certainly, in Bugle Wizard. A lot of it can be attributed to level, and obviously the Book of Thoth stacks are taking a while to come online. But you have to hope that the bird starts to make a bigger appearance of your team Fatalis if you want to come away with this game. Rashology on the left side going to run into Charybdis. She could be in some trouble.
See what happens here. Charybdis still trying to run away. Rashology with the root. Can they get the damage afterwards? Yes, it can. Immunes it out. Charybdis into the ultimate. Rashology misses with the up down. Ares to bring them back in, but it won't work. Rashology gets away, and team's still fighting. Team Fatalis trying to follow up. Can't, though. And ultimately, a whole lot of nothing for a whole lot of relics.
Whole lot of relics down with Stigi B around the corner, which could be the fascinating part of it. But Nen delayed, but not stopped. Just brutalized his pass. Probably didn't even need to, but it looked pretty. So, kudos for that, certainly. Stigi B up and Fatalis in first, daring Team Golden Bow to walk forward. Physics takes the dare, but gets stunned out with Lindexi. Still no commit to a fight. Maybe it changes if Awesome Luke were to commit. I'm surprised we'd see no team really hard commit in. They're kind of just dancing around this beacon.
Still doing that though, and now the Stygian beacon starts. Ankh moving in, trying to get the kill. Still has a shield in pocket. They're going to the backline, being melted though. Ankh almost on the back foot, taking off Alanu with the opening, and now will they chase out? Team Golden Bow trying to get aggressive.
Earthshaker, not gonna find anybody. Vayu did some okay damage, but as you see, Fatalis falling back and Golden Bow chasing out with Lindexi leading the way. There's the dash, looking for anything onto Rush. Butt Bun jumps forward, looking for it, but can't find anything. No kills still for Golden Bow, but they've committed a lot and maybe too far as Physics goes down to Vayu, the 6th kill for the Hachiman. Tier 1 tower will fall for Team Fatalis, but some cracks in the team fight for Team Golden Bow.
Team Golden Bow comes ahead a little bit out of that fight, you know, solo for support, not terribly impactful this stage of the game, and a tier 1 tower, not the biggest deal. Do end up getting the Stygian beacon though, so that's good. Rashology gets away alive, and now is Awesome Luke, bitten off more than they can chew. Still trying to get aggressive, and might be in a lot of trouble here if Hachiman's able to chase him down. Terra as well, there's the Thoth. It'll be a dead ADC unless Alanu pulls off something crazy. I don't think they're going to be able to.
Alanu's focusing on the oracles, understandably so. And
priorities.
I gotta say, bitten off more than he could chew during the Maw Hungers. That was good. That was good.
I'm thinking, man. I'm thinking today. I'm the pun guy now.
Oh,
it's
that's
not
your
you
new
anymore.
thing.
It's me.
Oh, okay. No
Dude.
Dr. Seuss, no puns. You've taken all my good things.
Yeah, pretty much. I am just pretty cool like that, you know?
Yeah.
Adapting a lot of stuff. Primal Fury on
Next
the table
family
now.
holiday, I'll make sure I give you the address so you can sit down at my place at the table and pretend you're me.
I'm flying out
Primal
for the
Fury
next
up,
family holiday.
half health. We'll see what Physics does with it. Fisher steals my identity. Physics will walk in, looking to steal that Primal as a fight breaks out in the XP camp as well, where Rashology just ults away. Fatalis get the Primal Fury in the face of the Ares despite the Searing Flush being committed, and no escape for safety. Won't bring back anybody, maybe for the best, but hey, there's an Ankh. Ooga booga, down goes physics. Bud Bun doing the same thing to Value on the other side of the map so far. That's a shutdown too, so extra gold. Starry and Bugle gonna go down at the same time. We're in sync for sure, but not everybody's getting out of this fight. As another one drops, it's Bud Nen to Rushology. So a 2 for 3 so far. Will there be any more? Team Fatalis just trying to retreat on back, and they will be successful. So a Primal Fury, but at what cost?
Cost of a few people, some die there for Team Fatalis. And, you know, that to me just kind of seems like what we were concerned about earlier. Seeing the aggression from Team Golden Bow. Team Fatalis really couldn't stand up to that one. They got Awesome Luke simply because the Charybdis walked too far, entirely of their own volition. But during that whole fight, Team Golden Bow were just the ones pulling the trigger and making things happen. Can't happen here for Team Fatalis if they want to come out of this one on top. 20 minutes in, it already feels like a lot longer, though. It feels like we've been in the team fight phase for like 8 minutes.
It really, really does. I mean, we're coming up at 21. It's 14-12. Those are definitely custom game numbers. 3K gold lead for Team Golden Bow has been closer. A lot of that's due to the objectives that Team Fatalis has been calling. And of course, the 7 kills for the Hachiman and the 4 for the Raven do plenty to increase that gold lead. Alanu and Vayu first at 20 for each team. We'll see if they can work around that as well.
See just what happens here. These teams, you know, and if it feels like we've been in the team fight phase for a while, we're kind of getting to that point in Smite. You know, we have some people hitting those upper levels. Jeez, I cannot talk today. We already have 2 at level 20, struggling all over here. And
I wasn't gonna say a word until you said something.
You know, you gotta be ready to call yourself out once in a while. And speaking of levels, it's crazy. The Charybdis at 0-4 is 1 level under the 7-1 Hachiman. I know you can only hit level 20 once, but that is still way, way closer than it should be, especially looking at the damage charts, an 11,000 difference. Criminal there. Vayu needs to change it to Hachiman, man. Who cares about Rama when you're doing this good?
Yeah, and maybe thankfully didn't get the Rama, for sure, for Team Golden Bow. Banning that out was wise. But also, you know, with the state of the lane, it's impressive from Charybdis too. You know, lost that tier 1 tower pretty early on in the game, and you know, people talk about losing lane gracefully, and we saw an example today. Wiz Dexy's really deep on this right-hand side, dealing with Rush, and has taken some poke for it. I'm curious if Golden Bow is just trying to bait a fight here.
They might be trying it. Fenrir coming in now from the bottom of the map, and the Nike's away. Nike having to defend against some minions right now, so it could be a huge opportunity from Team Golden Bow. Question remains, do they see it? It looks like they'll meet S5 on this Fire Giant. 22, almost 23 minutes into this game. This is about the time these fights will start. Question is a team going to try to sneak it? Is it going to be a full-out fight? Sending Charybdis away to deal with some minion waves over there and left, so Team Fatalis might be able to make up for their lack of initiation here if they have a 4-on-5. Question is, do they know what's happening?
It doesn't seem like anyone wants to commit to anything. I mean, it's very much, you know, custom game, 22 minutes. Where do we go next? Nothing on the map aside from fire, and you want to overcommit to that. It's not everybody is ready. Fatalis notably in less of a good spot, so you could take advantage of that. But the fights have been a bit even, and objectives have certainly favored Fatalis, so we can understand the hesitancy. But it's still frightening for Golden Bow, because the longer you wait, you said it before, Fisher, if you hit level 20 once, that's 5 level 20s, well now 4 level 20s left to go for Fatalis. Once they're there, this is a whole new ballgame.
It really is, and now this tier 1 tower gonna fall in mid. You know, it took long enough. We've seen a lot of towers fall here, but 23 minutes into the game, the first one just being taken down. Stygian Beacon now around the corner. Looks like Team Fatalis gonna pick that one up easily, and look here in the right lane, Bud Nen about to kill Honk. Honk running away, Ragnarok just to secure it. A dead Nike. We've been talking about it a lot. Nike, a very, very important piece of the puzzle for both of these teams' fights. Now will Bud get out alive? There comes Hachiman to stop the back. Team Fatalis trying to start this one up.
Mounted archery has been used, so can't chase down Bud Nen any quicker. That's the maximum of their mobility. So Fatalis won't overcommit on this right-hand side. Left side of the map, the Charybdis is split pushing and will have a chance at that tier 2 tower soon. So Vayu will back and answer it, which should quell any potential Fire Giant fights we have in the near future. This left lane fight will be interesting, though. Is Value going to get there in time? Yes. No, not in time to save the tower, but runs into Awesome Luke. Now Awesome Luke on that Charybdis in the left-hand side, fighting out in the Whirlpool. Get away from Rush. The Mystic Rush on top of Awesome Luke. The Maw into a wall. Will he turn around and go for the stun? No, gets out of it, goes for the damage instead. But options are gone for Awesome Luke. That's going to be an objective split, potentially. Oni Fury picked up by Fatalis as Pyromancer goes down to Golden Bow. You know, honestly, that turning into an objective split and getting the tier 2 Fisher could have been worse, but what? No way.
I don't think there's a way this happens. Honk is here. Is to be aggressive. Oh, look at the teleport. Yeah, you got to drop it. You got to drop it right now. I love that those are in the game. Team Golden Bow probably hates it in physics. About to be hate life. Ooh, manages to get away. Roshology low as well. Looks like Liz Dexy trying to pick that up and will. Both junglers fall. Team Fatalis, though, still might be pressing forward, but look at the HP. They can't afford to.
Kalanu still holding on to Earthshaker as well. If when Dexy gets a good setup, there's the Earthshaker. It finds Value. It eliminates the Hachimon. Now Lindexy will try to set up even more for Halanu on that Vulcan to continue pouring out the numbers. The turret combined with the back shot, backfire, does almost half health onto Ankh, forcing Fatalis back.
Great job by Team Golden Bow to kind of drive some more back after that. You know, getting the ADC as well. Value been having a huge game. Been talking about it. Top of the damage for the team by a wide margin. When you look at Team Golden Bow there, 3 players above 20,000, in between 20 and 22. So just having that Hachimon down is going to be huge here. Question is, can they make something happen off of it? Sure, you're going to have an opportunity to go for this Fire Giant, but Team Fatalis has 3 members, and they're going to have the Hieroglyphic Assault from the Thaw. This is going to have to be well timed by Bugle Wizard.
Wild Judgment up as well if you want to go for a Hail Mary steal. Windexy trying to stop the throw from doing it, as well as Halanu being low. Golden Bow will get the Fire Giant. Now can you get everybody out alive? Going to be a close call for the Vulcan as Onk's looking for it. Gets the jump across, but misses out on the Vulcan who steps away. Now Onk's the one in trouble, and Onk is gone to Awesome Luke. Lindexy did a great job at peeling away the rest of Fatalis as well, and the Red Herring has worked out, and Golden Bow can step on up. The Blink No Escape gonna bring back one. Starry will be a cutie no more, only seeing in gray. No pretty colors today. And Team Golden Bow to the tier 2.
Dr. Seuss is back, baby, just like that. Tier 2 tower in mid, gonna fall here. Team Golden Bow able to pick that one up very easily. Now, are they gonna continue pressing this advantage? It's a 5v3, but Vulcan still coming up the lane. Looks like they're gonna try it. Rushology behind, gonna be important. Phoenix goes down, but will the team as well.
Rushology couldn't get enough damage across because of the Whirlpool. Will get the overhand kick to get away and save the life, but they could not save that mid. Phoenix, Team Golden Bow, they're in a great spot now. The gold lead has ballooned magnificently. So 19-14 read the kills. You got Fire Giant on everybody, as nobody had it taken away despite the long drawn out team fight. Items, Fisher, starting to get finished up. I mean, what can Fatalis do?
Gonna sound really dumb, but you know, it's just kind of the analysis sometimes, right? They gotta win fights. It's about all they can do. We've talked about the weaknesses of this team comp. It has some strengths in defense. Honestly, I think sieging versus this team when they're all 5 alive is going to be very difficult. There's a lot of defense cooked into those kits. I think the only reason that Phoenix went down so quickly was it was essentially a 4v2 with the Vulcan and the Ravana both kind of out of the fight for the majority. So they just got to hold on, and they have to start winning fights. You've seen them take a couple kills back, but I really don't think we've seen any big convincing team fights from Team Fatalis, whereas on the other side, Team Golden Bow has gotten a couple, and they've gotten the objectives to back them up, and now those objectives coming up again, and looking at Fatalis not even daring to step outside their Phoenix range. And I don't know if these are worth contesting. Maybe the Enhanced Fire Giant, the other ones, not at all.
Value also is going to be hitting like a truck for Fatalis on these sieges, so you've got to play around that quite a bit too. Awesome Luke has seemingly had a tough time getting the perfect positioning to get damage out as Charybdis, whereas Value has been pretty on it throughout the game. So if you can get a few of those ranged Eagles eye autos on, could spell trouble for Golden Bow. They'll get a CGB on top of the Pyromancer and head right over to Primal. As Fisher said, it's risky to contest anything that isn't named EFG in 1 minute. Starry as a cutie is keeping an eye on it. We'll go down too fast though. So Golden Bow clear the map.
Team Golden Bow starting to move all over now, and now I don't think they're going to wait for that enhanced fire giant to come up. They might just try to press onwards. They already have a Phoenix down. Looking at the core of this team now, moving ahead. Vulcan looks like was moving over to contest that Nike. I think wisely, though, Ankh just going to get back to the base. It's going to be a full 5-on-5, still a tier 2 tower to contend with in right lane. I think that's wisely going to be the first target here for Team Golden Bow. Now with a minute 40 on this fire giant, if I'm them, I'm sitting at their Phoenixes for a minute and 30 seconds and then going to get the fire giant. No need to take an unnecessary risk, but don't let Fatalis leave the base. I guess we'll see what their plan is. Looks like it might be going away a little bit earlier than expected, though.
Rush handling minions in the mid lane, and Golden Bow will have a group reset back to base, so Fatalis will have some time to work with. Potentially get some deep wards, though, which is nice, Fisher, to set up for this EFG that is nearby, and the mid Phoenix will be back up during that siege, or excuse me, during that fight over the EFG. So it's a decent spot to be in right now for Fatalis, all things considered. The 10k gold lead is obviously the worst part, but at least you're at that level 20 mark. It's finishing items and finishing out that last item. It's not quite yet 3k pots as well. So this is definitely Fatalis' last true chance to make this game completely even and competitive before you find yourself back against the wall. So are we looking at value, Fisher? Is that our potential hero for Fatalis?
It could be, honestly, for me, though. It has to be Rashology. Ankh has not been able to get it done on the invade. Rashology been doing pretty good, and if Rashology can get enough space, Bugle and Vayu are going to be able to do what they have to. Starry can keep them alive, but Rashology has to be the answer on this attack. It hasn't been the Nike this game, so it falls to the Ravana. Hachiman with a lot of range, same with Thoth, but they can't do anything if they're just dead. So really, Ravana has to pick it up right here, and look at the positioning. Team Golden Bow on this fire giant, ready for it. It's spawning, it's enhanced. It might be the end of the game unless Team Fatalis can pull off something crazy here.
Well, it's a custom. There's nothing to lose. You may as well Hail Mary forward. No reason to rest on your laurels. We'll see if that's what Team Fatalis does. Lindexi is the one setting up the place in defense. They're doing the fire giant pretty slow. It's already half health, but it's not being burst quite yet. They will make a call for a 50-50. Rashology close by. Can he look for it? Will he go into time? He does! Fatalis steal the fire giant! And they look for the fight, and the fight's not going half bad either. Vayu's able to bring down Lindexi. Ankh will chase out Awesome Luke. Not quite find the kill, but Nen is in trouble as well. Ankh may have overplayed their hand on that deep end of the fight, but Nen successfully away. Same thing for Ankh. But man, Team Fatalis, they needed that play to work, and it does indeed. Now another fight will break out by the red. Physics low, runs into Vayu. Wrong person! Pepe Lav, Vayu makes it work. Halanu, the last standing over on this right side, and Ankh makes short work. That is almost everybody gone from Golden Bow. The fire giant stolen, and Fatalis looking so strong.
And Team Golden Bow are just throwing away the rest of their defense. They're getting caught out. Why aren't they in the base? Awesome Luke might die. Can they take Ankh with them? The Nike is low, but so is Charybdis. Oh. Team Golden Bow just dies. Why? You didn't need to do that at all. None of you did.
Bud Nen might be the next one. We'll find Rush, though. The Hydrus proc did numbies, and the Shadow Trinker to get away, might I add, Kingfisher.
Okay. You know what? I'll take it back. Don't sell the late game. Seems to be working. Can they get another?
Gone, and Bud Nen showing maybe it's a jungle diff on this side. JK! It's a mid diff, bitch! Bugle Wizard pops him big time. Alanu's gonna love that call.
I was about to say, I don't even know how to respond to that one other than just let it sit for a few seconds. How to think anything
Alanu's gonna love it.
Is properly gonna bring it up like that. Honestly, I think that's Halanu's like new voice that plays when he like joins Discord channels. You know that one?
It's a mid diff, bitch. Oh, I'm so adding that sound clip. Great call. Golden Bow! Steal the Pyromancer too! Oh, we got a game!
Anthony's getting hype. It's rubbing off on me. I'm getting hype now. You know, it might be an in-house, but it doesn't matter. It's still insane. Question is though, what does Team Fatalis do now? They got the enhanced fire giant. They got to fight. Looking across the map though, there's still tier 2 towers. There are still Phoenixes, and there's still an 8,000 gold differential. That's not good. It's not very good at all. But luckily for them, Team Golden Bow now doesn't have that advantage. So the team fight's going to keep going, and Golden Bow have to clean it up. We've talked about so many different times this game how big of an advantage this team will have in fights. Got to see him use it here, and it looks like Onifir are going to be contested. Starry moving up for this one. Might be a big overextension. There you go, Earthshaker secures at Golden Bow. Just don't fight. Don't need it. Okay, they're on this side.
Okay, yeah. Ooh, my chest started beating out of my my chest started beating out of my chest. My heart started beating out of my chest there when Fatalis was walking up, and honestly, still Golden Bow really confident in their side of the jungle, and Fatalis might see opportunity here. Starry's Acuity gets knocked up, but Rushology goes on in. Mystic Rush won't find a target, but Thoth is doing damage from far away, and Bud Nen is yet to be here. By the time they get here, Physics will be gone. No more support, no more mid lane, no more ADC. Gonna be up to the Fenrir and Kukulkan. Can they make it work? Already one, there's two. Rushology though with the double kill to bring down Bud Nen and stamp out that resistance. The last one standing is Kukulkan against the three of Fatalis. They will back off, but again, Fisher, Golden Bow pay for standing in their own jungle. How dare you?
They do. Luckily, Bud Nen saves the game by killing Vayu there. If the Hachiman is alive, Team Fatalis win the game. They still might have a chance to. Rushology does a pretty decent amount of damage, but without the Nike there, probably shouldn't be able. Maybe the Phoenix goes down, but the Timer's Physics will be up to help defend this Titan if it gets to that point. Looks like Phoenix dropping rather quickly. Nike still moving up, and I gotta say how surprised I am. They keep fighting when they don't need to. Rushology, just stay alive, man.
Rushology making it work though. Fisher, I gotta say, almost was able to get the kill. They do get the Phoenix. Obviously, I was talking in good fun before about, you know, about the jungle diff, whatever. Definitely a joke. Rushology, one of my favorite players to watch in the amateur scene, you know, be it Immortal, Sparta division, whenever it's been. Rushology always fun, and showing why in this game on this Raven just could not be ignored for Team Fatalis, and has been a significant presence in pretty much every fight that we've seen.
Rushology is absolutely a problem here. Identified it early. Honestly, both these junglers this game have been doing pretty incredible, and you know, verdict's still out on which one's gonna get the better in the end. And now Fire Giant's coming up yet again. At this point, you don't need the enhanced Fire Giant buff to end the game. You gotta win the team fight. It's all you need. It doesn't matter if you have that buff around your belt, but you already know
it's hard to do with Hachiman, right? I mean, 40k damage?
Yeah, the Hachiman's doing a lot of damage. I guess Rama doesn't matter that much to Vayu, as long as Vayu gets a hunter. Seems to be doing good, and both these teams, Team Golden Bow, positioning aggressively again. I like it, it's what they should be doing, but they need all 5 people here. They do not need Kukulkan on left lane, because if this fight starts and they lose it, I don't see a way for either of these teams back into this game after losing this fight. And right now it is a 5v1 against an ADC, I think doing the wise thing and stepping away there. Kukulkan needs to get to this fight, and now Team Fatalis with control of the pit. Aggressive positioning for one of the first times this game. What can they do with it?
And how far are they willing to push it? Kukulkan still yet to TP over, does have it online. Fire Giant started up by Team Fatalis. They're taking their time with it at the moment, almost down to half health. Rushology going forward, sees Awesome Luke, forces the Whirlpool out, will back the Charybdis up. Kukulkan now TPing into the fight to help things out, back behind the fire. Fatalis let go, they look for opportunity to find Bud Nen! Find him, where'd it go? I don't see a Fenrir anymore, neither do Fatalis. No more Helanu too! Bugle Wizards going insane! Rushology handles Luke, down goes Physics. It's a double, all the trouble for Golden Bow, and Team Fatalis only have one more to fight through.
No enhanced Fire Giant buff either, just walking straight into the Titan. 5v1 Lizdexi with it all to do, and I don't know if they're going to be able to.
Here they go, into the throne room. It's going to be Kukulkan versus the world. They're not playing games, right onto the Titan, doing the damage, not trying to kill the Kukulkan. He tries to take some shots, it's no good. Lindexi gets out of there and goes down. Deicide and victory for Team Fatalis.
At the start of the game, not the result I would have expected there, but Team Fatalis managing to get it done in style. Great job from them.
That ended up being a very exciting game. There was a while there early on where I really thought it was starting to be kind of a wash due to the sort of weird pacing where Fatalis were getting objectives, but Team Golden Bow were doing much better with the map state overall. But it ended up finally working out. It just took Vayu really coming online damage-wise, and Rushology and Bugle Wizard getting targets, getting picks to really turn the game for Team Fatalis.
Yeah, Rushology in the end there turned into an absolute demon. I thought all game long Fenrir was going to be the problem, and he was. Bud Nen did a great job. 34,000 damage on the jungler, 14 kills. Great performance from the dog, but I mean, Rushology in the end there just better. Able to get off the damage. You see Bud Nen in that last fight wasn't able to do anything. And you still got to think, Team Golden Bow had the game in the palm of their hand, but literally, I think 3 back-to-back fights. Fought for no reason. Died for no reason, and unfortunately just a little bit too much. And props to Team Fatalis, take advantage of it. You got to be ready in Smite to take what the other team gives you, and they really were. They did a great job responding in the late half of that game. Had some struggles in the early half, but did not keep them down.
Did not indeed. I am at a pineapple under the sea. Really, really good call out there from you, Tess. Oh. Sorry, I couldn't help it. We can look at Cat's friends list. That's fun.
Ooh, yeah. There we go. Let's do some analysis on that. All right, good. I guess that's where
back to the. We're going back to the picks and ban scream and shame.
Yeah.
Hell. GSL had a message held for misogyny. Thank you for the compliment, GSL. I appreciate you complimenting me. I guess it doesn't speak fluent English, we'll say. Oh my goodness. Yeah. I don't know if we're doing another one, so real quick, we're gonna go to a BRB screen while I figure out what's up next, because Fisher's got to go for a Rainbow Six cast. So thank you again for the compliment. Don't go anywhere. Be right back.
Caution, content's hot. 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 You got to give me all you got. Caution, content's hot. You got to give me all you got. Caution, content's hot. You got to give me all you got. Caution, content's hot. You got to give me all you got. Caution, content's hot. You got to give me all you got. Caution, content's hot. You got to give me all you got. Caution, content's hot. You got to give me all you got. All you got. All you got. All you Caution, content's hot. should've moved on to someone new, but I'd rather be in a storm than in the calm without you. Don't know how I feel in the morning. Maybe you'll be leaving me sad and blue, but I'd rather be in a storm than in the calm without you. Without you. Without you.
asteroid. Is anybody out there? I stepped outside into the void. Please hurry up, ignite a flare. Will you ever try to rescue me? I don't wanna see you go. Can you see the dark surrounding me? I wait here for you.
Hello, welcome back in. We've got more viewer games. We'll see if Team Fatalis can lock it down. I am now Timmy Turner. SpongeBob has retired, and now Fisher has retired. I'm joined by Z-Tan. Cat still on production. Z-Tan, welcome in the Rama Band instantly. Glad I told you the lore.
Indeed. So clearly they do not want this guy playing Rama.
Yeah, no Rama for value.
I mean, kind of wild, dude. Dude must be something different on Rama for you to prioritize that ban over Charybdis, Hachi, any of the other, general nasties lurking around in the role. Lancelot? Okay. All right.
Yeah, they did there was a Fafnir ban. I think it went Rama, Fafnir were the first two bans. So I'm curious if we'll see Fafnir make it through or if there'll be none of that tomfoolery today.
I mean, Fafnir's in a really good spot right now, as we're all probably aware, now that his and Yorm's autos have the capability to proc items. Things have gotten on the side of dumb regarding them. Hachi, okay.
Okay, Value's not having any fun tonight.
But Value's about to get pauled in an in-house, dog.
You know, the sound clip from game one was me yelling mid-diff bitch at the top of my lungs. I think the sound clip for Value might be that he's getting pauled. And there's the Charybdis ban, so just no ADCs allowed in this game. It's gonna bring out the Ishtar.
They're gonna ban my man down to playing Sobek ADC at this rate.
Bring back
right,
Freya.
So yeah. Oh no.
Kronos?
Nope.
Who else is shit right now?
we don't talk about Freya. If you say Freya too loud, high res adjusts her damage by 0.1%, and then she's broken again. Okay, Terra, Odin, very solid bans. But
Oh boy.
I mean, now what?
We
do
got
you
cat
think?
giggling. I'm
There's-
scared.
There's
What
What did I say?
Yep. There we go. All right. Yeah. I mean, fair choice. Not to say that I would generally take Ishtar first, but on the same note, if they're clearly willing to ban the entire kitchen sink in the ADC roster, grab it while it's still on the board.
Yeah. I feel like that would have probably been the ban. Or, excuse me, yeah, no, the ban. Had they not grabbed an ADC up for value because it was just getting kind of desperate. But it does open up to Fafnir, as the Terra was the ban instead. Looking at support bans, and Fafnir is just so good right now that I feel like you've already locked in a good contender. Medusa, though.
Oh, okay.
So the last game it was
we all
Hachiman
know
versus
what we did.
Charybdis. Awesome Luke was playing the ADC role on Charybdis.
Okay, gotcha. Well, I mean, now he's trying this Medusa, which I'd say Medusa's in the realm of like just bare middle of the pack regarding hunters. She has the capability to run the Bluestone option. She can do damage in the late game, but her laning phase just isn't great. And the ult, it's great in silver lobbies where people can't do a 180. Less so the higher up you go.
Sorry, I was reading what Kat said. If there was not a Magusa skin, there'd be a ban to follow. So I had to make sure we don't lose out on Vayu.
Oh yeah, they've got
Maui.
no
I haven't
chance
seen
now,
Maui in a
brother.
while.
Yeah, I think the last time I saw Maui played consistently
Your
was
chances to win the fight have
the
diminished.
genetics Maui clinic at Worlds.
It has been a while.
Yeah, no, he
I think the last time I saw it was almond butter in an amateur game.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Yeah, we're unlocking core memories here. I haven't thought about that in a while. So they've got the Medusa and the Fafnir.
We shall fly together.
With the Fafnir, that almost makes me think that you put the Medusa in mid here and look for an Xe hunter.
Okay.
As
I,
your,
can get,
as your
I like
other
that.
pick. Like, they're running the Horus here. You've got the extra Prot Shred. You've got pretty severe lockdown. I think you honestly slot a second carry, one that can build Executioner. You go for the on her, or, you know, anything really, and run it like that. A Wheelish Toth.
So the Raven, Vulcan, and the Thoth were all played in the previous game. Rushology was on the Raven, Bugle Wizard was on Thoth, and Vulcan went to Helanu. And the Thoth ended up carrying the game at the end. Rushology played out of his mind on Raven. I mean, comfort pick for Rushology, so it does check out. But the Wheelish was not picked up in the previous game.
I mean, it's... A Wheelish is good. Oh, as we all know, a Wheelish is a good counter matchup into, you know, leaps. Which, I mean, you're not locking on her. About the only thing you have on the team at this point that even gets affected by that hardly is going to be your Maui. You know, maybe you're just throwing the ban out to give some extra protection for the rest of your draft. We do have the Daji lock-in. Now, that's interesting. You don't generally see Daji until multiple non-CC immune ults have been picked up, and then you pick it up late in the draft. I mean, as of right now, they're 3 for 3 on CC immunity. Maybe the Daji's just a comfort pick.
There was an Ares picked up in the previous game by Physics and Support. So the Daji feels like it's of the same essence. The Baba Yaga, though, interesting. The Baba Yaga, I believe, Helanu is still in the mid lane for Team Golden Bow. So Helanu does love those artillery blow-ya-up mages. I feel like that is something I associate with Helanu. And the Kamazods, it's just good right now. I mean, you and I talk all the time in games about how simply Kamazods survives team fights and makes it to the end of team fights and leaves a lot of damage the whole time.
Yeah.
So always good to lock in.
Yeah, I mean, that Bat Out of Hell offers him a survival utility that a lot of characters just don't get. I mean, you can go the gods like Pele, where you have that same kind of jump in, dive, burst potential, but you are shit out of luck once they turn on you. Cam, on the other hand, just gets in there and gets out.
Incoming!
And, oh, well, okay.
You were close to cooking.
I was close to cooking, yeah. Now I'm not sure which one of them you throw in mid. You know, maybe the Neath. You could viably throw either of them into the mid role. With the Fafnir, though, this comp is going to cook objectives. It's not going to secure them, but it will cook them.
I feel like it also performs late, too, because even if Golden Bows stock up on physical protections, Fafnir just isn't really going to care late game.
Yeah, you definitely have the potential for a lot of magical damage coming out of the Fafnir just because of the god. I'm almost imagining the Fafnir to go solo here and the Horus support.
Ooh, see, that would actually be. I mean, that feels very custom games coded, in-house game coded to taking that Fafnir solo, really playing off of the strength at the moment of the Void Damaru Demonic Grip combo. It could be great for the Fafnir and really set up Team Fatalis to have -1 weakness essentially.
Yeah, I mean, with the autos on the Fafnir roll, you get that Demonic Grip, the Voidamaru, and a Cyclopean, and you're frying. You need no further damage. You can build entirely into defense, and you're still going to do an absurd amount. Now, Team Golden Bow's comp, on the other hand, if there is a comp built to survive a dive, Team Golden Bow have it. Like, you've got the protections in the AoE from the Maui, you've got the displacement from that ult, you've got the Mulan, you have Baba Yaga, who's atrociously hard to kill.
Everyone feels like they have a haha, you can't hit me in their kit.
Yeah, they absolutely do. And I mean, if there's a comp that can kill it, it's dual ADCs and a Horus. But I just fail to see how Fatalis are going to get on them effectively.
Because if they try to do it via the Daji, she's at just such a risk of getting dropped down, taken out. If they try to do it via the Fafnir, if he's not going as tanky as he might if he was support, then he gets blown up. And same problem for Horus, right?
Yeah. The Fatalis are going to have to play this just flawlessly.
Yeah, flawlessly is, I think, the perfect example. We are close to getting in game. Matter of fact, we're ready for game here soon. So as we get in, Team Golden Bow and Team Fatalis trying to lock up the street cred of sweeping out the in-house. Golden Bow want to walk away, at least even. So let's get in game and see how it rolls out. See if anybody switched up roles, but no role swaps. Oh, it's actually Vayu on the side of Team Fatalis. I actually mixed that up in my brain, so...
okay, and it is a Horus solo.
On the Medusa is interesting. I think in my brain, Vayu went over to Golden Bow, which was never the case. I just made up that lore in my head because I'm into fantasy stories. And Awesome Luke on the Ishtar, exciting, because I feel like the Charybdis didn't look bad. It looked like he... And I'm sure you've seen this and you felt this, Z10. I know you've played some Charybdis. I know we're both big Looney Tunes guys, and he plays a lot of Charybdis. Sometimes you just can't figure out the positioning to do your damage on Charybdis. And that was the case.
It can be difficult. You do have to be careful with it, because while she is inherently a very safe character, once that 3's down, if you put yourself out of position, you've got the ult to try and run away. Oh my.
They're cutting them off by the teleporter in duo lane.
Oh yeah.
They finish their farm so much faster. Well, I was going to ask you, like, what advantages could the Ishtar bring versus that Charybdis? We already see one with the clear straight from that purple buff. They don't get too much poke off of it. Matter of fact, Starry takes the most poke from them stepping up, but they get all the wave pressure you could dream of.
Yeah, I mean, Ishtar, that's one of the things she brings to the early game is just absurd clear. Not a lot of gods in the game are really going to be able to keep up with her in that department. I mean, Rama, Izanami, you know, that's about it. Charybdis has very good clear comparatively as well, but it's only a couple of characters out of that roster. Looking at some of these builds, we've got... Huh. I wonder why Daji's opted for this Eye of the Jungle. It's something you typically see more on a jungle that you're trying to build as a bruiser, which isn't really something that you think of with Daji.
Maybe just looking for some of that extra HP 5 and that long draw and sustain. Shroshology does love to spend a lot of time rotating around deeper in the jungle and looking for invades and ganks, as we saw an early peek at the possibility of a gank here. Does just focus on that Scorpion. Does not have a full interest in diving into the lane, which is probably the best. You don't want to get too crazy. That was one of the things that happened early in the previous game. Was Bud Nen actually got very, very much ahead by ganking out this solo lane pretty consistently, as Shroshology was putting attention towards the duo lane. And speaking of that duo lane as well, Z10, that was the one roster swap was the support role, as Ankh was playing a dangerous game, gets away. Physics and Starry as a cutie swapped sides. Vayu almost swapped to the gray screen, but able to get away.
Yeah, Maui tried to rope him back in. Vayu needs to play back in this matchup. I mean, Ishtar should be out clearing you. Medusa's not the best early game god in the world, and I think you have to just realize that and respect it in the matchup. Oh.
What a pull from Starry there, grabbing value. I mean, and that was like the Wanted Weapons of Fate movie where they curved the bullets. That hook curved around physics to grab value. Ultimately didn't turn to a kill, but still cool. Right side of the map.
It was a very nice hook.
Blue buff invade. We'll see how this cooks up. They do force Lindexi back, and the blue buff is secured.
Yeah, got to get that blue buff. You really need that thing, especially, and I cannot emphasize enough, on Mulan. Mulan very, very good right now. A lot of pressure, great damage, good setup for that matter, but you can run out of mana really fast because you end up spamming those abilities. I definitely like making the secure there. So far, gold, negligible.
Yeah, no bounty, we're chilling.
I think it's under 100, actually. That's... Yeah.
55 at experience? Just vibing this game. I mean, it's an in-house, but it's pro pace at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, 4 minutes in and absolutely no difference, which First Blood hasn't went on to anyone yet. Honestly, if I'm Camazot's, probably going to be looking for like Neath, Medusa, or you might find Daji.
Rushology down half, not afraid, dashes in. Neath ultimate committed on the Bud Nen. It will hit when the bat out of health finishes, but will certainly not kill. Did certainly scare away the bat though.
I mean, yeah, he kind of got jump scared there going around that camp. He thought he was on Daji, and then another came out the woodworks, and then the Neath ult. And I mean, that's the nice thing about playing Camazons that we talked about. You just get out. No problem whatsoever. One thing I'd like to see going on here is some focus and attention put on this BDK. That buff is just so strong right now, and we're 5 minutes in, and nobody's even looked at it yet.
And we saw a lot of it in the first game that we had played tonight. There was a lot of attention put, not just on the Bull Demon King, but on solo pressure in general. And we did see the singular blue buff invade from Rushology, but now we're getting that Bull Demon King presence that you asked for, but they don't commit to doing it. Instead, Mally actually looking at the Horus in solo, who had dropped to low. It'll turn to a blue buff invade for Team Golden Bow. Rushology here to answer. First Blood could be looming around the corner. There's the Horus ultimate to help out Rushology. Bugle Wizard rotating in as well on that Neath, but nobody's full committed to the fight. Sorry, a cutie. Looking to back off. Has Bud in there as well. Lindexi doesn't find any pulls. Rushology takes some poke, and Hilanu's here, and the damage from the Baba's Blast is great, and Lindexi gets the first blood onto Ankh, a 3-man pull-in from Rushology. Unfortunately, having a Neath foregoing that area control means no follow-up on the great ultimate. Meanwhile, Rushology still being chased out, and left side chasing out the purple buff, stealing it away from Awesome Luke, who loses the purple and that green buff. We're still chasing the Neath in solo. We're still chasing the Daji in mid. Rushology still standing. Now minions have even entered the fray. I'm not sure what the value is here.
You're just overstaying at this point. I mean, they've been here for almost 35 seconds. Helenu may end up paying for it, or maybe Horus doesn't get there. I don't understand that decision when you got the first blood. You forced them back. You got the red buff. Oh my god.
Budden's tanking it though. In the face of Ankh, Ankh almost finds the kill. Bugle Wizard doesn't have ultimate, or that could have been trouble for Bud, but now Ankh is the one who has overstepped and overplayed their hand. Ankh will go down to Lindexi. Bugle Wizard will find the kill in Hilanu, and Rushology gets one of Bud. That's why you can't step on the overstepping after they've overstepped, you oversteppers. Rushology into the powwow will find Starry. Waiting on the drop down. Bugle Wizard has some damage, but gets pulled in. Luckily, that did not hit Rush. And almost dead is Starry. Will the Bluestone do it? Yeah, it does! Another kill for Bugle Wizard.
Team Golden Bow said, all right, we've overstepped our bounds.
Overstepping the oversteppers.
And Team Fatalis said, hold my beer. I mean, they got kills out of it. They got quite a few kills out of it, for that matter. I mean, you've got 2 in the pocket on your Neath now, 1 on Daji. Your solos died twice. Mulan's off to a 2-0 start, which is a scary thing. I mean, that's a god that feels okay from behind, good from even, and great from ahead. So with this Blackthorn start, I'd like to see Mulan kind of start to throw some of this weight around. I will point out, however, that Horus has started with the Rune-Forged hammer, as opposed to the Blackthorns.
Not something we see commonly. We see the Blackthorn get picked up on basically every character. What are some reasons you'd prioritize the Runeforged?
Well, I mean, your 2 on Horus is going to do a prot shred as is, and you've got 2 different forms of CC in the kit, 3 if you count the knock-up on the ult. Oh god, he may be in trouble.
Might need more than a knock-up to survive. The Mulan does go down, killing spree for Lindexi. Rushology here, meanwhile, left lane. The 3v2 turns into 1 less for Fatalis. Now a 3v1 for Physics on the Fafnir. Trying to get away, but has to come out of the dragon form and gets a jump off. Can he get away? Rushology did clean up Lindexi after the fact in that solo lane fight. Will they clean up Physics? Going to be a close call underneath that tier 1. And eventually, Physics will go down to Awesome Luke.
We've got an ADC tower dive. We've got Daji killing Mulan over in the solo lane.
In-houses, baby.
good on Rushology for shutting down that Mulan. She's got the Blackthorns. She's got the Glad Shield now. That's not going to be an easy god to tangle with. So the sooner you get that shut down, the better.
Hopefully that Runeforged on the Fracture, the second ability of Horus, will help out, as Zutan was mentioning. Coming up in 10 minutes now. 5-4 is the kills. About 400 gold favors the side of Team Fatalis. So that first blood bounty that we were seemingly never going to get now feels like a distant memory. Midfield,
yeah, I mean,
midfield.
It's negligible.
The other game got in my brain, Z10. Midfield, mid lane. Rushology getting forced out in that Daji, Bud, Nen. Grouping up with Starry. They just secured the Oracles and they walk away. But excuse me for calling this Rocket League. Where's the net?
I was about to say,
where's the boost pad?
Hey, I don't know. Haven't seen one
Midfield.
in 11 years. But fair enough. Yeah, no, I don't hate this Runeforged idea. I like what he's going for there. His start is more the problem at this point. You're on an 0-3 start, and so fighting is not necessarily in your best interest at this juncture. Speaking of fighting, though, Luke is getting the kits.
Well, Fatalis got to fight. Same cannot be said for Awesome Luke, who now is seeing a bunch of shades of gray. Just a look over from Starry. No true help, unfortunately. Not a point, as Awesome Luke had already gone down. You did mention the Bull Demon King earlier. We've seen 2 so far, split 1 apiece for each team. So we'll see if that continues to be a priority, if we see another team fight for it. Currently, the Daji is over in solo, but nobody's overcommitting. The real interest right now is on this left side. Starry stepping up. We'll see 4 members. Bud Nen might have walked too far and run into those 4. There's the blink from Rush, looking for Bud. Bud goes up into the sky, the bat out of hell. Is that enough? Will they even turn back? Is there an interest? No, just an escape, and it works out good for Golden Bow, but Fatalis now have options.
I'm kind of surprised, Anthony, they're not going after this Gold Fury. Lindexi with the solo onto Horus. Oh no.
Don't want to Mulan with 4 kills in your lobbies. That is no fun. And Ong had a great game in the previous game, so it's weird to see Ong off to such a slow start. Sigi beat up and Fatalis on it first, and they will secure it. Team Golden Bow unable to contest.
Yeah, I mean, nothing really they can do to contest there. Bat out of Hell's down for Kama. You don't have any real way to engage in there and contest it. Honestly, it's for the better that they just let it go. Luke is getting aggressed on too by the dodgy here, but I don't think she's got any potential on it. She is going to get this green buff though. Bugle Wizard on the other hand.
Nice backflip.
Yeah.
Wow. That was close. The house almost found the kill. Wait, Bugle almost stepped into it. Almost got caught in those trails from Home Sweet Home. Back to duo lane where Rushology brings down Bud. He gets traded out instantly as Awesome Luke gets that return kill. The Neath ultimate will simply scare away Awesome Luke. We're now at 7-6. The kills do not stop flowing.
No, and we're still at like a 200 gold difference.
This is a crazy lobby.
Wow. Wow. I would have thought with the level lead and the kills that Mulan has that there would be a more significant difference, but I guess not. Everything's fairly even outside of that like experience differential in the solo lane. Nobody has went for this Gold Fury yet either.
No.
I feel like we're at a point now where like these ganks are turning into things. You're actually getting some kills off for it. I'd like to see them move towards one of these objectives after getting it. Physics and sorry, just scrapping here in the jungle.
More tickling almost.
They're stacking prophetic. They're trading stacks. That's fair. That's how you know they're good sports.
Yeah, gotta get those magical ones online. They're both actually doing great on their prophetic stack. 17 for Starry and 15 for Physics. Considering some games where it's past 20 minutes and you see 7 stacks and you're starting to panic for the support, getting this many this early is great. Another Bull Demon goes the way of Team Fatalis, making that score 2-1.
Yeah, Fafnir's down here clearing up some wards in the bottom jungle area. I'd like to see them leverage this into a Gold Fury pull, but they're jumping on Physics.
Maybe this fight will lead into that Gold Fury pull, as Rush is already on a Bud Nan, already forcing out the Bat out of Hell. Awesome Luke is going to focus on the Tier 1. Will rotate over, but could run into a Medusa in doing so, which could lead this fight over to duo. Hasn't yet. Story and Physics trade out more prophetic stacks, but Zetan, this is calm before the storm with this many bodies on this left-hand side.
Yeah, I mean, you've got 8 people hovering this left side 15 minutes in. I'm not sure if it's so much that either of these guys want the Gold Fury that bad as they want to make sure the other team doesn't. Vayu ulting Awesome Luke. There's the damage, but does he finish it?
Is it a solo bolo? Not quite. Starry able to cut it off. Rush going to try to look for, does not have to blink online, so it will be difficult. Now has to fight off the Camazons. Meanwhile, fight in mid lane as well. This fight in left going to go the way of Team Fatalis as Vayu brings down Bud, Nen, and Starry lacks the damage. Mulan having cleared that Tier 1 tower. In solo, rotates over, almost found Physics. And Fatalis had to back up out of that Tier 1 fight there. Lucky it didn't turn into more, honestly speaking.
Yeah, that could have been much worse, but the much worse may still be coming, in fact, because the level 16 Mulan has left Mordor. That thing's gonna hurt, and it's gonna do it a lot. As we can see right now, she's hitting the support and nearly taking half of his health pool. That's what Lisdexi needs to be doing with this lead she's got right now, is trying to leverage it across the map.
16:35 and it's 7-7. I'm honestly so impressed. Usually these in-house custom type games, you don't see it be this even. And obviously all the score lines are not that even. But game 1 had a similar vibe and the game was incredibly close. Came down to what was really the last fire giant at the side of it. So it's crazy to see that again. And you know, these players, we found them. They decided to grace their presence from the Sparta community of OSL. And with draft coming up soon, I wonder if some of these players will keep this in-house in the back of their mind with how close it's been.
Yeah, I mean, this is a very evenly matched lobby. These guys are playing this pretty close to the chest. Fatalis is grouping up here around this beacon, and I just don't think Golden Bow are in a position to contest it. That's going to be, like, they've got 2 of these now. these towers are on their last breath. If Fatalis can get this Pyro that they're looking at, get a couple of these towers knocked down, they could start to get something of a significant gold lead. But oh, we got 4
here we
here
go.
now.
Rush has blinked past, gonna be into that powwow. Excuse me, didn't even blink past, just the dash. Powwow will bring back one, but Rush could not make it work. But Budnen able to find the kill. Will there be any more? The up down from Starry, not gonna find a stun, not gonna find Physics, who's able to get away so far, but the knock-up is real good. And Bud's gonna find a double. Liz Dexy will get that third 3 dead for Team Fatalis. Ankh will be forced away. Meanwhile, dual lane 1v1. Vayu dashing in. Can he find the kill? The blades will stop it, and the beads come out. So Pyra goes to Golden Bow for 3 dead, excuse me, for Fatalis. Nearly a solo in the duo lane. We're having a blast in this game.
Yeah, and you've still got 3 dead here for Fatalis. You could honestly look at Gold Fury right now. You know, your biggest real deficit at this point, I mean, there's a level disparity between Ishtar and Medusa. It's nothing crazy. You know, still the biggest disparity is out of this solo lane, but Horus has got this Rune Forge, he's got the Archdruid's Fury, he's got the Contagion.
That secondhand damage just go burr.
Yeah, I mean, he's still capable of surviving, still capable of doing some damage. I think at this point you have to look to play the Horus more as a facilitator, which I feel like with a Fafnir double ADC comp you were kind of looking to do anyway. Vayu gonna take down Awesome Luke with the help of Rushology. Surely Fatalis look for this Gold Fury.
You've been waiting for that for a while, to say the least.
And
So
it appears I
surely-
may be waiting longer.
Yeah, surely, right? It happens eventually. But no, not quite yet. Starry's a cutie. We'll run into a couple. Does get tickled, but tickled is the key word here, is that Maui is incredibly tanky. Rushology trying to make it work will take poke in turn from Helanu and back away.
So Luke's down for another 15 seconds. They're sniffing the Gold Fury. Oh, well, there's the Fafnir.
Hey, let's go! There. Oh,
Oh my God! All right. One of them stream sniping.
I'm gonna blame Helanu, the troll. There's the
there's
the
that
case for Medusa. They're full committing into this fight. Will they find a kill? Is always another story. Bugle goes forward to try to lead the way. Starry's gonna get a nice landfall, but is there damage to back it up? Oh yeah, there is! It's that demon from Solo, Liz Dexy, finding one. Awesome Luke brings down Vayu. Helanu's got the jungler handled, and Awesome Luke ready to lead the way into Bugle Wizard. Ankh will cut them off, but I don't know if there's enough damage from this Horus. We'll have to dash away to the safety of Bugle Wizard. The damage onto Luke was good, though, should Bugle have their hand forced. And Team Golden Bow realize that. They back up. Bigger things on the mind. Potentially, hopefully, Gold Fury.
Surely they take Gold Fury here. That
Dexy's
was
still fighting.
zoning. That's not fighting, that's zoning. She's zoning. Look, like, that was absolutely a beautiful landfall from Starry. If Starry does not hit that, I think they actually get wiped there. Like, that landfall absolutely turned a losing fight into a winning one in under a second. Beautiful play from Golden Bow there. Pyro's coming back up here in a second. They got the Gold Fury. Got around a 5-6K gold lead now. You're actually starting to work with something significant. Ishtar, level 20. Mulan, level 20. We're about to start seeing some starters get upgraded, and unfortunately for Fatalis, Medusa's level 20, but everybody else ain't even close.
So where do you go from here is the tough thing. You mentioned the Pyromancer being up soon, but it looks like fighting is still the main thing on the mind for Golden Bow, trying to get a pick onto Rushology, who showed face in the jungle. They will chase around a TP coming out from Ankh, try to keep Rush safe. It's spotted by Golden Bow, and Fatalis will let it go. I can't believe the gold lead's finally away from 200, but it's skyrocketed in the time we had last talked about it. The kills have been mostly stagnant, but 5k for gold, 500 for XP. It's crazy when you consider where we once were, where we had what? If it was 500, 200 of a difference, it was pretty absurd.
Yeah, I mean, they're looking to pull this Pyro now, and honestly, Fatalis is at a pretty significant disadvantage in a fight at this point. They're going to need to be really careful about choosing to contest things here. Well, this may be why.
Another landfall, not as big this time as Physics was able to get into that draconic form and jump away. Ankh okay as well, but Golden Bow still stepping up. Rushology is behind them. Can the Daji make a play happen? We'll find out. No, Rush will just go through to try to get to some safety. The shotgun autos were out from Awesome Luke, so perhaps the best move there. They don't lose the tier 2 tower, which might have been the biggest concern. Golden Bow simply call off the fight, continue to grow their lead, and starve the map away from Team Fatalis.
Yeah, I think the Golden Bow objective there was to try and get a pick or two and just go pull the fire. Because it seems like they've realized how big of an advantage they have right now. And with you being at the 23-24 minute mark, that advantage isn't going to be there for that long. Like, they've got it now. Now's the time to fight and try and push this. Because here in about 4 or 5 minutes, Fatalis are going to start hitting 20. They're going to start getting the starters online. And that advantage that you've got is going to disappear.
A pull from Lisdexi onto Vayu, who did beats it out. Gets caught in the stun from Maui. The hook can't find a home, and the damage of the Starry is really good. Fatalis, Golden Bow in trouble. The landfall to try to stay alive buys no time for Starry, and Bugle is able to find one. Hilanu going to go down to Ankh as well. Rushology in deep, and Ankh able to work with that deep play and find a double kill. Luke able to bring down the Daji, who was way far in. Physics will return back for a double. Everybody's dying. I feel like I should jump headfirst into this team fight too. Lisdexi, last one, blinking, looking for Vayu. Bit too much distance, even with the pull. Now has to turn around. We'll deal with Bugle and Ankh. Pulls himself to Bugle. Looks for the damage there. Can't find it. Slowed out. Fracture. Damage real good. But Bugle has backflipped away. They call off the chase onto the Mulan. A lot of deaths in that fight.
Yeah, and honestly, without Lisdexi cleaning up on the back end of it, you might have lost a bird there. That was not a very good fight for Golden Bow. It started out with them trying to push it, and I fully believe that was the right thing to do, but they weren't all there. They engaged the fight, half the team wasn't there, they got in late, they had already eaten a bunch of ults, people were low. At that point, it's okay to make a mistake and realize, you know, hey, we're outnumbered here, let's not take this fight. Just get out.
Just get out. That could end up being the keyword, really. I mean, the way these fights are going, it feels like you have to make your decision on if you're all-inning, full committing, and willing to sell out for a team fight, or if you're trying to make it more of a bait and kite backwards to create a better opportunity. But the keyword is just calling it and making that decision. And it feels like that's been the iffy point, including in Game 1. So we'll see if that turns around. We're at 26-30. And Fire Giant seems to be the interest as everyone's dancing around this Fire Pyro area. Primal is up on the other side of the map, but there's no vision there. There's no interest there. And Starry actually alone at the moment, Z. If they get caught in CC, it'd be trouble, but they were not.
Well, Starry's positioning, he is by himself, but he's also a Maui.
I was gonna say, but he's Maui, he's fine.
You know, he's okay as long as he's not allowing himself to get caught in the middle of 4. He should be fine. Helanu, on the other hand, also fine. We love Baba Yaga. Oh my god, they're trickling in one at a time!
Yeah, it's Assassin's Creed guards going in, taking their turn in the death animation, but so far no deaths have actually led the screen. Scratch that! Rushology's gone to Helanu. Double kill for the Baba Yaga. Dashing forward, next up could be Ankh. Bud then gonna handle the Neath. as the Horish will dash away. Vayu will split the difference. And Team Fatalis, they got the Pyromancer. But my god, they did not handle the fight. Double kill for the mid laner and the jungle. Was Dexy will clean up the ADC for a deicide. And Team Golden Bow just walk into a victory? Team Fatalis got a Pyromancer. There's a split call. Was Dexy spam pinging over at the Fire Giant, potentially going that way? The rest of the team will make the call for the end because they had plenty of time to do it. And Team Golden Bow will take this one. Wow, what a shocking end. But that's going to tie us up in the night. Both teams able to find a victory. Just took a support swap, but my goodness, what the hell happened there?
That was a great play from Helanu. They started trickling into that last fight one by one, and it looked like they were gonna get caught out. It looked like it was about to be a repeat of that fight that they lost in mid. And Helanu popped off. They got kills. They ran the rest of them down. And I mean, you're only 27 minutes in, which is a really short game for where we're at right now in SMITE. But, you know, you had 40-second respawn timers on everybody on the opposing team, and at that point, 4 kills is pretty much game. Lisdexi kills the 5th, gets the deicide, and you just walk it down.
I'm really surprised by that end. I really want to know who made the call, because I feel like whoever made that call knows their stuff, because that is... I'm not trying to say Lisdexi called the fire. It's just Lisdexi was walking that direction and there were pings on Fire Giant. Maybe it wasn't them, but whoever called the end and hard committed to that, that's something you don't even see sometimes. I mean, I've gotten to cast some really good players in my time casting SMITE, and there have been a lot of moments where I've said, okay, they could have ended 3 times already. Why are we in a 45-minute game? And it's because opportunities like that were not necessarily not capitalized on, but there was no risk taken. That time Golden Bow did it, and whoever called it was just on the money.
Yeah, it was a good call. And in a lot of games at this level, at even higher, one of the things you do have a tendency to see is the safe call. People aren't entirely sure if they've got the DPS to end the game. You don't know. And with that unknown, it's generally safer to just say, all right, yeah, let's just go take fire.
Yeah.
But sometimes you can make the call, and if everybody's willing to listen and commit to it, a lot of times you can end these games.
A lot of times you can, but ended the game. They did indeed. That was a fun night. I gotta say, that was game 1 was incredibly exciting. Game 2 was wild. Game 1 was really insane. Definitely worth the watch back, but game 2, you know, just getting to see a call like that, as well as the fight alone, it was just exciting. Well, thanks for joining me, Z, and obviously shout out to Fisher for joining me for earlier, always, and big shout out to Kat on production. It's not going to do it this week for viewer games. Tomorrow night, me and J-Mac will be doing more viewer games, so hopefully I'll have as exciting of games to cast tomorrow night. And yeah, other than that, make sure to do all the stuff. The Discord link has been pinned in the chat the whole time. If you're watching this via the VOD, make sure to join in that Discord so you can do these in the future for SMITE and for Rocket League. Make sure to watch the SMITE 2 event on Saturday. I heard it's going to be a really cool event, so I suggest watching that. I know I'll definitely be viewing that. So yeah, that's going to do it. We're going to raid SK Peso. Everybody have a great night. Be safe. See ya.